Bum ba bum bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 bum. Doctor Who review of the final episode, episode 8 of season 14, imaginatively entitled Empire of Death. I've got some juice. Got a little carton of juice. There you go. Keep me going. I've never felt so insulted in all my life. If you thought that Empire of Death was amazing or whatever, you're a moron. That's it. I'm sorry. I've got to be rude. I've got to be incredibly rude, because everything that happened in it kind of fell into the line that I thought it would happen. Russell T Davies loves to write big, bombastic endings and use Deus Ex Machina. He always does it to restore everything. Now, back in 1978, when Superman flew backwards around the world and turned back time, we went, "Oh, that's clever. Not seen that before." And we thought it was rather cool and rather interesting. But every time we have a big ending, every time there's a finale, he does the same thing. You had it with Bad Wolf. Every finale, there hasn't been a finale where there isn't been a great big, red reset button, for him to punch. And during this, I joked, "You're going to need a bigger reset button." Again, it stars Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson and Nita Dobson and all the others doing their thing. Again, please do not think about this episode. Do not think about it, because as soon as you think about it, it falls apart like a cheap suit. It really does. It falls apart. And like I said, I feel frankly insulted by the quality of writing, because the internal universe of Doctor Who makes no sense whatsoever. It doesn't hang together. It doesn't hold water. None of it. And I know there'll be people saying, "Oh, it's just a kids' programme." Yeah, but even a kids' programme, there's an internal, like I say, set of rules. You create worlds. There's world building. Just look at any IP, and there's world building. And here, it don't make sense. But don't worry about that. We're going to talk about it. So, spoilers. There will be spoilers. There will be spoilers. Now, the big thing about this episode is I don't think there was enough crying. I don't think Ncuti Gatwa cried enough in this to match the enormity of the situation he was facing. We pick up from last week's episode where Sutekh had returned. Remember Sutekh? And he says the immortal line, "It was a wrong anagram." Even that was incorrect. It wasn't an anagram. It wasn't an acronym. It was a contraction. Su, triad, technology. Sutekh. It was a contraction. So he couldn't even get that right. This is the poor quality of the writing here. So yeah, Sutekh wins. We see echoes of 9/11 and the World Trade Center dust. This dust of death that eats its way through everything and kills everyone. And you go, "Oh." And it's revealed how Sutekh got there. He basically hitched a lift with the Doctor back in, Tom Baker's time, and has been growing ever since, and been planting a Susan triad wherever the TARDIS has landed. Now, I thought that idea was interesting. I like that idea. I like this idea of there being a breadcrumb trail, but it was sloppily utilised, and I'll explain why as we go on. But I like the idea of Sutekh being there all along. It was Sutekh all along. I like that. I thought that was interesting. But again, the execution is quite poor, you know, because you can only go far. So you can only go back so far with it, because Davis hasn't been the showrunner since since that original Pyramids of Mars episode. He couldn't control all the various plot twists from then. So you can only retcon her into certain stories. Again, she only really started with Wide Blue Yonder. Again, we needed her in the Star Beast episode, really, ideally. But anyway, I'm talking about the Susan Twist character. So yeah, the world falls to dust, and the Doctor makes his escape. This is where you have to really disengage your brain. Right? You have to disengage your brain, because we're going to squeeze some fan service in, because they're in the time window, which is a conduit for memories. Memories become real or something, and so if you concentrate really hard, you can make a TARDIS. This is where none of it makes sense. This is where it's the ramblings of a drunkard. I got this time window, and then I remember a TARDIS, and then I go escaping it. Now, again, that TARDIS was full of fan service, old costumes, props, from the history of the show. See how many you could spot. Again, great for the nerds. You're a nerd. I'm a nerd. I saw things. I went, oh, I like that. I thought that was good. I thought that was good fun, but it didn't make any sense. It didn't make sense, because surely once they left the time window, don't think about it, Darren. Just don't think about any of it. Lot of crying. What am I going to do? I can't do anything. Lot of crying. And at one point, me and my daughter, we were cheering for Sutekh. We were saying, come on, wipe them all out. And again, he could have wiped out the Doctor and Ruby, but he didn't, because there's a reason why. And again, this is the irritation, the annoyance of it all, the irritation of it all. Again, the Anita Dobson character, we think she's going to be something else, which, again, they toy with our affections, and she appears to be an agent of Sutekh, but she's not. She isn't. You think, okay, is that the point? No, it isn't. We're double bluffed. There's continual double bluffing here. And the problem is when you keep doing double bluffs, it cheapens everything. So the Doctor's, he's, oh, what am I going to do? Now, if he'd have said his tears were poison for Sutekh, God, we'd have won. We'd have been in there. He could have won it in an instant, but it wasn't like that. So they end up on this planet, and there's a really bad bit of green screen, and it's really tacky. Where did the Disney money get spent? It wasn't on that scene on this planet with this woman with a dead baby who kept forgetting things, and it was all about this. See this spoon. This spoon saves the universe. Now, I don't know how that woman got a spoon from Earth that remembered Earth in a spoon, because a spoon can remember Earth apparently. Okay, because it's made of metal, and metal is a memory. Okay, Russell. Yeah. Yeah. Keep drinking, son. And so he goes all Uri Geller on it. He does. Goes Uri Geller on its arse and breaks the spoon and stuffs it in the thing, and it remembers. And this is where it all falls apart, because they think that the mystery of Ruby is enough to defeat Sutekh, and Sutekh isn't killing Ruby and the Doctor, because Sutekh is basically us. Sutekh's going, I want to know the mystery. He's leaning forward like us, and he's going, I want to know the mystery of the baby. I want to know the mystery of the child. What is the mystery of the child? I need to know. because Russell T Davies is toying with us, he's playing with us, he's tickling our narrative testicles in a playful way, going, I'm gonna play with these, and you're gonna want to know what's happening next. And he's tickling the narrative testicles of the fandom, and we're thinking, oh, there's a big reveal coming. So the Doctor goes again. She has memories of the guy from 73 Yards, the Welsh Prime Minister, or sorry, the Welsh guy who becomes Prime Minister, Ap Williams, or whatever his bloody name is. And he goes, that's it. He took everyone's DNA in 2046. So they go to 2046 and everyone's dead. And you go, well, wait a minute. If everyone died in whatever year they left, 2024 or 20, whatever, then surely 2046 would not happen. So there would be no DNA. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Stop thinking about it. There wouldn't be any DNA because everyone was in dust anyway. Well, that wouldn't happen because. But then the Doctor says, "Well, I've already landed there, and there's a Susan Triad, Sutekh woman everywhere, and it all and you go, none of this makes any. Again, doesn't hold together. Narratively, it's just gibberish. It doesn't hold together. You know, long gone are we in the time of Moffat, who tightly knitted his threads, probably too much. He probably went too far, with his world building and creating these great big arc things, but it goes off there. So she discovers who her mother is, and they confront Sutekh with it, and he wants to know because he's us. We are Sutekh, and because we are Sutekh. Did you not know that? We are Sutekh, and Sutekh is us. Because we are the fandom clinging on to the TARDIS. Davis is very, very, he's. And again, there's at this one point when they're kind of looking back at Tom Baker, they're rewatching Tom Baker's episode, and she goes, "There's Sutekh there," and he goes, "Yeah, cultural appropriation," and goes to the camera. Well, he should have done. He should have just done that, and you go, "Do what? What?" Okay. And Russell goes, I'm so fucking clever. I'm so fucking clever writing this down. This is going to sound so good coming out of Shooty Gatwa's mouth. No one's going to roll their eyes at this. This is so well done. You go, all right, okay. We get the message. Okay, Russ, okay. So you have this big confrontation because Sutekh is us, clinging desperately on to the TARDIS, wanting to know the mystery of Ruby Sunday. And Ruby smashes the monitor, right? And he can't see it, and he goes, "Oh, I'm upset." And they trap him. They trap him using a spider grip and the cable, the sort my old mum used to use on her trolley to hold her shopping down. Trust me, she did. The missus will attest to this. She had these spider grips. And I used to use the spider grips when we was moving the bird cage. I had a big cockatiel. I've got a big cockatiel. I did have a big cockatiel, not anymore. Now I've got just a little sparrow. It's the age. It's me age. But I had a big cockatiel cage. I used to use spider grips to keep it secure when we used to move him. Those were the days. He's gone now. He went a long time ago. I had him for 17 years though, so he lived a long time. But I'm getting off topic. So they use spider grips because Mavity gloves, spider grips, because that's a thing now. Because you could do that. You could just say, I've got this thing, and just introduce it. There's no like, MacGuffin thing where it's on the desk at the beginning, at the very beginning of the series. And he goes, I've got these spider grips. They're really clever. Look. And he goes, and then in the episode he goes, he used them to bind the memory TARDIS. I'm going to call it memory TARDIS together because it was going to, like the story, it was going to fall apart. So they used this to pull Sutekh back into the time vortex. And when it happened, I went, wee, because he was riding it, wee. And the idea is, right, The big reset button is if you drag Sutekh through the time vortex, death can reverse death and everyone will come back to life again. Okay, you write that, Russ, because you've got to undo everything you've done. You're not Douglas Adams. You're not Douglas Adams who can come up with the infinite probability drive. You know, once you've dumped your protagonists into space for them to die, you go, am I going to get them out of this? You know Douglas Adams. Dragging Sutekh through time doesn't reset everything. Makes no sense. But don't think about it. You mustn't think about it. All right? And if you remember, Sutekh survived the time vortex anyway, hanging on to the TARDIS, or I don't know, absorbing himself in. I don't know. I don't really care. And that's the end of that. And everything's fixed. And you know, it's all, and it was all down to this spoon. It was all down to this spoon, I tell you. And then we get the big reveal that Ruby's mum was just a young woman who's escaping her awful stepfather. Again, misandry. Got to have some misandry in there. It's always the stepfather. What about the wicked stepmother, eh? This is Disney. Disney would have loved Wicked Stepmother because they loved everyone turning into ash, like Avengers, Infinity War. You know, Thanos. He said he Thanosed everyone. She went, they Thanosed everyone. I went, that's good. That is because they did, didn't they? Tick that off. Russell said to Disney people, "What special effects you got?" I go, "Well, we can make people turn to dust." He went, "I'll have that. I'll have that." You know, that's where the money went. So everything's fixed, and the big reveal is that, like I said, Ruby's mum was a 15-year-old kid who got pregnant, needed to escape her father, and you go, "Oh, okay," because again, like Sutekh, he'd have been disappointed. We were disappointed. It was like, "Oh, is that it?" Yeah, because sometimes ordinary people can be, well, ordinary, and it kind of feeds into that thing at the end of Last Jedi where the Jedis weren't special and that, hey, anyone can be, a Jedi. It's that kind of, there is no mystery. Well, then why, Russ, did you keep writing about a mystery for you to pull the rug away? It's really irritating, and it's one way of alienating your audience. Well done. Good writing, it ain't. It's just not good writing. And then, well, why was she pointing? Well, and he, I don't know, he uses his Sonic's compact, and the road sign appears. She was naming you. Did she leave? Did she leave a note? I can't remember. Who named the baby? I thought she was called Ruby because she was found on Ruby Road, and she was found on a Sunday. And that's. Am I remembering it wrong? It's a long time since the Christmas special, and I didn't care for that much either. But anyway, she's not special. She finds her mum, she stalks her, they chat, and Ruby says, "Well, I'm staying here." And that's the end. And that's it. And then the Doctor's on his own. He's finally wearing his uniform, the one that he should be wearing. Because again, this Doctor is a vain, proud, arrogant, ineffective, emotional, insert whatever expletive you want. I'm going to try and be polite. And that's the end. That's it. It's over. That's the big mystery. There ain't one. Now, we discussed this, and we me and my daughter, and then the missus, we's like, what did we just watch? My daughter was very annoyed because she was looking forward to this, because she was really looking to see how Davis resolved this. And I did warn her. I said, look, there will be a Deus Ex Machina. There will be a big reset button. Don't get your hopes up. It's not going to be clever, It's not going to be clever at all, and it wasn't clever. It was the opposite of clever, which is stupid. Like I said, if you thought this was good, you're stupid. You don't know how narratives work. They don't work like that. That's just annoying and irritating. So, my daughter made a really good point. She went, So, Sutekh, right, was hanging on. He was absorbed into the TARDIS. I went, yeah. She said, well, by generation. I went, yeah. She went, he split the TARDIS, didn't he? I went, yeah. And all the doctors came back to life and split their TARDISes too. I went, yep. So she went, well, there are many Sutekhs still out there then, isn't there? And I said, yes, there is. And I also said it made no sense about the Triad woman coming back because she was an agent of Sutekh. But now she's just a regular woman with all her memories and being super intelligent. Makes no sense. Surely she would just turn to dust and crumble and fade. But they can't do that because I don't know. And Harbinger said that the Harbinger woman was still around. That made no sense because Harbinger was another agent of Sutekh. We had the Harbinger character before with the the Maestro. And again, you think about it and you think, well, that was supposed to be like a god, agent of a god, and he makes the rules up as he goes along, and it's incredibly irritating. And so, yeah. So theoretically, if you use that logic, because he did split all the TARDISes and by generation, many Sutekhs. And I went, that is a brilliant point, Verity. Well done. That's why I keep you around. And I just felt very, very insulted by it, and it makes me distrust Davis because, again, why create a mystery when there is no mystery? Why create a big thing when there is no big thing? You're just ordinary. Oh, great. You're just ordinary. There is the legend of Ruby Sunday. There wasn't one. See, it's hyperbole. It's bombast, and that's irritating and annoying. But dullards think it's clever writing. It's not. It really isn't. It's not. So I was thinking, well, how can I do it better? How could I do the whole Deus Machina thing without it being really irritating? And I thought, I know what we could do. Is because it's a memory TARDIS and it's not real, it's like a memory. The memory TARDIS, because you can make rules up as you want, the memory TARDIS allows the Doctor to go anywhere, right? Time, space, anywhere. And he can even go to the point where Sutekh hitches a lift with Tom Baker's TARDIS. So imagine the time vortex with Tom Baker's TARDIS and the memory TARDIS, and he pulls up a side and he goes, we've got to be exactly 73 yards away. You can work that back in. More about that. I've just remembered a bit about 73 yards I want to talk about. We've got to be 73 yards away. And if I hit, with the, reverse the polarity of the neutron flow, I can knock him off. Yeah, I can pull him off. Oh, I bet you. Oh, he wants to pull off Sutekh. Oh. Yeah. And so you get the fan service because you could cut to Tom Baker's TARDIS and him and and Sarah Jane. They have some old footage they can intercut, and go, oh, there's turbulence, I don't know. Use your imagination, and they could do that, all right, and then they can knock him off, and of course that same effect. Sutekh falls into the vortex, big smear of rainbow light, and it will fix everything because it didn't happen. Everything would be restored. Fantastic, thanks. Thank you. No. That's how I do it. Because the memory TARDIS allows him to do that because it doesn't make sense. That's why. But the 73 yards thing, she's saying, I've never met, because they look at the Prime Minister who's going to, set up a nuclear war. That was the premise of that, right? So it didn't happen. None of it happened. It was all just a fantasy. It was all just a dream because she says she never met him. And in 2046, apparently he did become Prime Minister. So whatever Ruby did never happened. What? Thanks, Russell. Thank you. You undid all the mystery that you did with that episode, which was my favourite episode of the season series. You completely unpicked it because you said, no, it didn't happen because he does become Prime Minister and he does make them have DNA tests. Thanks, Russ. Thank you for doing that. Mm. Mm. Yeah, so yeah, really bad writing, predictable style of ending from. Just go back. You just go back and watch every ending that he does. It's cookie cutter. It's from a template, and frankly, it is insulting. It is insulting. But then he has to make the stakes so high, but then there are no stakes. It becomes pointless. Like Ruby, her mystery, it is pointless, utterly pointless. And then we have Anita Dobson at the very end, dressed up in white, going, "Ooh, the doctor, ooh, this, that, and the other." And you go, why should I be invested in this? Why should I be invested in this character and this mystery that you're presenting to us? You know, why? Why? Because fool me once, fool me twice. You know, it's that kind of thing, and I really don't think he should be anywhere near Doctor Who now. Again, I feel really bad about this because I used to think Russell T Davies was one of the top writers. I had him on a pedestal near Dennis Potter back in the day. The Second Coming, Queer as Folk's Second Coming, that kind of thing. He had a kind of a gritty realism to his writing. I thought this guy was going to be, but no. And by doing this, all you do, Russell, you're not watching this, but I'll address you to the camera. All you're doing is you create distrust. People that are tired by this will turn away. Even the dullards will wake up and go, "Wait a minute, yeah, that wasn't very good, was it?" Big build up, crappy execution at the end, and there are ways of writing your way out of it that are more creative, more interesting, and more fan service as well. So yeah, I thought it was abysmal, and just thought it had to end like that. It had to, because he hasn't got any other tools in the toolbox. He has nothing left. And like I said, I felt insulted by it. My intelligence felt insulted by it because the more you think about it, the more it falls apart. There will be people who make excuses for it, and that's fine. You're super fans, but I'm a super fan. I'm more of a super fan than you because I actually love the show. And when you love something, you be critical of it, and you feel the pain when it's been, stabbed in the. I was going to say heart, but it's more in the arse, isn't it? Really. And yeah, it deserves to die now. You've done a good job, mate. You killed it. Well done. And we were Sutekh, wanting to know about the mystery of the child when there was no mystery. He's funny like that. He writes like a bitch. He really does write like a bitch. And that's not a good thing to treat the viewers like with his bitch. Not good. Moffat didn't do it. Moffat was playful. He had fun with it, and again, Chibnall didn't do it. Chibnall had intergalactic stakes, but kept it in a way that you didn't have to undo everything. But Davies has to undo everything all the fucking time, and that was it. And this spoon saved the universe. A spoon, remember that, because even a spoon can save the universe. Really. A memory can be a thing, and it can make it's like, what's he going on about? And I've spoken for 29 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm going to do Doctor Who now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for wasting your time. But I just couldn't believe how bad it was. I really couldn't. And again, I really like the setup, and I like the idea of Sutekh being spread through time like that, hitching a ride. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was a really interesting idea. And the Get Out was just so half-assed, it wasn't even funny. And what happened to the memory TARDIS? What happened to that? Don't think about it. Don't think about it. You know, when 14, is it 14? 13, 14? 14 tenants, when he goes into the garden at Donna's house and sees a giant dog monster sitting on top of his TARDIS, he's going to go, what the fuck, Donna? What the fuck? What's going on? Because he's got his own Sutekh. They all have now. Thanks to the bi-generation. Oh, God. It was... I can't believe how bad it was. I really can't believe how bad it was. It really was bad. It was bad. Anyway, look, don't let me upset you, right? If you thought it was good, well done. Well done. I'm pleased for you, because, you know, you might want to get like a special crash helmet, because you might bang your head against hard objects, and you might also need somebody to help to remind you to breathe at night when you sleep, because if you know, you're a special kind of person if you thought this ending was a good ending. It wasn't. Oh, it was so emotional. No, it wasn't. The woman didn't want to know her daughter. Even the doctor said, I don't think she should get involved. She doesn't want to know you. You know. In reality, Ruby should have gone in, thrown a coffee in her face and said, here, Mum, my name's Ruby. Fuck off and die. But it wasn't like that. She really wanted to know her mum, and she's going to meet her dad too. Hey. And that's the end. That's the end of her story. We got rid of her. So we're going to get a new companion, which we've already met. She was in Boom. And does anyone care about the next season series? I don't. Will I watch? I probably will. But it was so bad. He was so ineffective. You know, but it's not the actor, right? It's the way Davis has presented the Doctor. He is not the Doctor. He's an imposter, right? He's a vain, inglorious moron of a Doctor. He's not clever. He's not smart. You know, it's just unfortunate that we've got this iteration, and I think Ncuti Gatwa deserves better, because I do think he's a good actor. But stop your grizzling, as Mel said. Anyway, thank you for watching. Remember, be careful where you stick your sonic screwdriver. No night. Oh God, it was awful.